All right. Thank you, Amanda, and thank you, Dory. Welcome, everybody, to a special edition of Pop YS Live. I decided to make this one, Sam and I, Samantha Bowers and I, we decided to make this edition of Pop YS Live all about summer reading prizes, or what I call Prize-A-Palooza. So, welcome, grab a pen and paper. We are going to discuss all things prizes today. For those of you who are new to Library Land and you're new to librarianship in general, I would love to say a welcome to you. My name is Janae Jackson Doring. I'm the Youth Services Consultant with the State Library of Iowa. Hello to everyone and hello to the newbies in the room. My contact information is to the left of your screen. And I wanted to share, since we're thinking about prizes today, I wanted to share some fun prizes that I received when I participated in the summer reading program for adults at the Des Moines Public Library. The picture to your right is the prize that I won when I entered in their adult summer reading contest. So what I won was really, really cool. They had a library tote bag. It was super cute. They had a set of bibliophile piece puzzles. So it was 500 puzzles or 500 pieces to make different book covers. That was really cool. It also had bookish stickers in it, which I thought was really cute. It also had a magnet that Des Moines Public Library created. And let me see, they had also book darts. Has anybody heard of book darts before? And you can say yes or no in the chat. Feel free. I did not know what book darts were until I received these as the prize. And the pictures down below, they are little bookmarks. They just hold your spot. So I thought that was really, really cool. I put the links to the tote and the book stickers in this slide deck. So if you're interested in looking at them, feel free. The book stickers, it was 200 pieces of stickers. They were $7.99 and the tote bag was $6.93. Um, the puzzle and the bookish darts you can also get on Amazon as well. So this could be an awesome adult prize if you'd like. So today's plan, what we are going to cover. This webinar is meant to share ideas of possible prize ideas for summer reading. You know your community best, so all the ideas that I'm sharing with you today, take them, think about them. You can use them or you can think of something else. But my goal here is just to get your creative juices flowing and thinking of different types of prizes you can offer for kids, for teens, and even adults. So, today's plan, we're going to talk about what will your summer library program look like? What will that look like for you and for your community? We're going to talk about the pros and cons of prize incentives. I'm also going to share some budget-friendly prize ideas. I'll also have some creative prize ideas from library land from you guys. Along my visits, I took a lot of pictures of different types of creative prize ideas that I've been seeing, and some best practices for soliciting prizes. And during this time, I would love everyone to share your ideas for prizes in the chat. If you're willing to share them in the chat, please do, because this is a learning community and everybody is free to share their ideas and we're just helping each other. So don't be afraid to share your ideas for really cool prizes that you're planning to do at your library. So, before we get into discussing prizes and such, I'd like for you to think, first of all, about how you'll design your summer library program. In other words, I would like for you to think about these items before you start thinking about prizes. These bullet points, I want you to think, Will your program be a mix of reading activities and learning activities for kids and teens that they can do at the library? And can they do those activities at home? With your reading log or your challenge sheet, whatever you call it, how will your participants track their activities? Will it be counting minutes? Will it be the number of books or pages read? Or the number of activities they completed that are learning activities? On your reading log or your challenge sheet, think about when will they get the prize or trinket or reward, whatever you call it. Will they get that prize when they finish the entire log or the sheet? Or will it be halfway when they're still working on their sheet? Also, think about will they get a prize for just signing up? Um, I know there's a lot of libraries that when they have kids come to register for the program, they get a free book at sign up. And I think that's the most wonderful thing to do because we have to remember there are kids that are disadvantaged that don't have libraries at home. They don't have their own personal libraries or books at home. And in order to participate in your summer reading program, they may need a book to help them participate and complete your challenge or your reading log. So think about, do you give a prize at sign up? And do you give a prize for completing the program? I'm seeing a lot of people here in the comments. I'm seeing brag tags. Yes, they get brag tags. Brag tags are awesome. iRead has, with their theme Plant a Seed Read, they have brag tags where kids can put, they can collect them and make like a little, I think it's like necklaces that they can put with the brag tags. But they've been able to get other kids signed up for summer reading because the kids are bragging. Look what I got. So brag tags, yes, are very popular. Also, what prize challenge does your community like? Do they like raffles? Does your community like bingos? Do they like getting a ticket where they enter it into a drawing or whatnot? Do they spin the wheel for prizes? So before you even think about picking any prizes, think about how that log or that reading challenge is going to look like. Are you going to have those mix of reading components and learning activities that build kids and teens and adults into readers? I'm just looking at these comments. Oh my gosh. Joy says they give a free popcorn, free bag of popcorn. I love it. Algona, you're thinking about a baking kit with tools, pot holders, yes, and a market tote with a cutting board and a farmer's market gift certificate. Oh, that is cool. I love it. Keep those ideas going. Um, so, for an example of what I'm talking about in regards to how your reading log will look like or what your summer library program will look like, a good example of this is Minneapolis Public Library. For last year, for their Level Up at Your Library program, they had it where on their log, the kids had to fill out 10 spaces on the reading log. And once they did that, they earned a spin of the prize reel and a grand prize entry that went towards the grand prize of their choosing. And so they had that spin, that spinny winnie, they call it. But they got to spin the wheel once a week and get all kinds of things. It says from fidgets and toys to candy and snacks. We have a mystery prize bag as well. And I'll talk about all this in a little bit because that's a great idea. But this just gives you an idea of how they're setting up their reading log. Altoona Public Library for Summer Reading 2025, they had some really cool ideas of how they set up their reading log. The picture at the very top to your left, they used the Level Up at Your Library children's template that from the state library that I created and in the style of Pac-Man. And so the kids, they had to cross out a square for every 15 minutes that they read. And once they reached the finish line, they added up all their minutes and they entered that in the finish box. And then they had time between June 15th and August 1st to receive a prize. The other cool thing about this reading log is if you didn't want to put the little Pac-Man symbols in there, maybe instead of putting the Pac-Man symbols, you could have stop. come to the library and get your prize. So that would be a way to, instead of having them wait to the end to get to the prize, maybe they could do it halfway. The other thing I liked with Altoona Public Library for teens, they had scratch off tickets. I loved this idea. I'm going to talk about this a little more. But for their teens, for 6th through 12th grades, they got one scratch off ticket per day when they went to the library for an event or if they checked out items. And this repeated all summer long. They could scratch off the ticket and revealed either a small prize or a free book. And all the tickets were also a grand prize entry. So I loved this idea of a scratch off because it's unique, it's fun for teens. And I'll show you a way of how to do this also later on in our presentation. Some other items to consider with your summer library program. Think about what types of prizes go over best with your participants in your community. Does your community like small prizes? Or do you like giving out trinkets for everybody? Do you like experience prizes, grand prizes, gift cards, or family all ages prizes, such as a pool party where everybody's involved and invited? So these are some things to think about. Emery says we let each person choose their goal individually, whether that's reading every day, reading a certain amount of pages, yes, or a certain amount of books, yes. That is key. That is a great best practice, is letting kids giving that voice and choice and choosing, letting them choose what they want to read, how much they read, and just what's working best with them. I love that idea. Thank you, Emery. Also, do the prizes need to be something that fits with the theme? I hear this all the time that, oh, I want to have this theme. This theme is, for this year, it's plant a seed, read. I want to get everything gardening and or garden and I'm trying to think, uh, farming and such. If you want to do that, the best practice is use your discretion. Not everything has to be matchy-matchy with a theme. Um, Especially with kids and teens. Um, Use your discretion. For adults, I would use your discretion. But for kids and teens, not everything has to match with the theme. Definitely consider your budget. You got to consider your budget, especially in our time right now. So consider your budget. But another thing to also think about is this prize that you're giving, is it accessible for your families? If you're giving away a a ticket for a child to go to a Cubs game or whatnot. So what does that mean? That one kid gets to go, but then the a family of mom, dad, and the three others, they've got to pay their way. Um, think about the accessibility. How accessible is that? Ooh, I'm seeing some comments. Michelle says, I made scratch off tickets for our summer reading program. Yes, the winners got to pick something from the treasure chest. Absolutely. Non-winners got to choose from to put their name into one of the bigger prizes. Absolutely. I love it. So we're going to move to the pros and cons of rewards and prizes. So there are pros and cons to summer reading prizes. Let's face it. There's no sugarcoating about it. Some people love prizes, some people don't like them. That's okay. And that we need to acknowledge that as librarians. But just some pros of rewards or prizes for summer reading. When you offer a reward or prize, it encourages participation and you're building library community. So, what does that mean? You're motivating your kids, your families, your teens to start and finish the program. And it's a shared activity because you have not only the child and the family participating, but you have others. Maybe it's their friends, they're participating as well. So, you're building this library community and shared community. You increase registration. The prizes that you offer or the rewards that you offer, they're generating interest from your patrons. And of course, they want to register. They want to register and to complete the program in hopes of winning. And you're encouraging and promoting reading for enjoyment. Reading is a healthy habit, and that needs to be stressed among our kids and teens. So when you offer these rewards or prizes, and when kids are picking the books that they want to read and reading, they're building their reading habits and they're reading for fun and enjoyment. And they're seeing how fun reading can be. And kids and teens are encouraged during this time to find books they want to read, not books that they're forced to read. Like in school, they may be forced to read certain things. When it's summer reading, they get to come to the library and they're looking at you, the expert, because you're helping them find the books that they want to read. And in turn, when they're reading during summer reading, they're improving their comprehension, their vocabulary, and their fluency. Another big reason why we have this is because we're fighting the summer slide. Now, for those of you that are new, the summer slide is when those summer months, children lose their academic skills. They just lose those skills. And it's about 2/3 of summer learning loss that happens during those summer months. So it's crucial that we have summer reading programs in place to keep that learning going, whether it's through your programs or just having time to read, whether it's in the library or in the car or listening to an audiobook or whatnot. So offering these summer reading programs and challenges and rewards, it leads to us fighting the summer slide. But like I said, with the pros, there's also cons of rewards and prizes. Think about the cost. Think about the logistics. Somebody is in your building is managing those prizes, those trinkets. They're managing how they get distributed. It takes up staff time. It takes up staff time, and depending upon the trinket or prize or whatnot, it could consume your library's budget. It also creates a bare minimum mindset. It was interesting when I read this. It creates a bare minimum mindset, which means kids or teens may be motivated to just read the bare minimum and choose less challenging or shorter books to obtain a prize quickly because they see that prize and they want it so bad. So they go and pick the first book and they don't care. They're just reading it. They're reading it just to say, "Yep, I'm all done. Here's my ticket. Put my name in that drawing." So when we offer prizes, it could develop that bare minimum mindset where the kids or teens are just reading a book just to read it and they're not really thinking about what they read or having that deeper reading where they're comprehending and thinking about what they just read. It also distracts from your goal. The prize, however cool it is, it could overshadow the enjoyment and value of reading. And let's face it, patrons can sometimes be unhappy with the prize you give. Um, and I'm just going to keep it real. You can't make everybody happy. You just can't. No matter what prize you choose for kids and teens or adults, you can't make everyone happy. And that's okay. That's on them. But this is what we have. So there are cons, there's pros, and there's cons. But the one thing I will say definitely, plastic prizes, they're not sustainable. They're not. How many of you have given these plastic prizes where they're from a treasure chest and they get the little finger pullers, they get the little, what is it, the little frisbees and so forth, and they're just junk. They're cheap plastic toys and they're an environmental waste. And what happens to them mostly? They're thrown away. They go in the trash, they break easily, they're thrown away. And on top of that, they're pricey. They're very pricey. I had one parent said to me that they've donated their tchotchkes or their toys back to the library once their kid is done playing with them because they're tired of them. They just don't know what to do with them. Um, So they're not sustainable. Is a kid going to use them later on down the road? No. Is a teen going to use that later down the road? No. So think about this also when it comes to ordering prizes and your budget. So in regards to all this, I wanted to offer some best practices for selecting prizes for birth through kindergarten. Um, First of all, offer a prize that enhances early literacy, child development, or supports reading for young kids. Um, it's important that we do that as early literacy experts. Um, my old my old position at Des Moines Public Library, uh, they came up with some really cool ideas for birth through kindergarten. They have what's called simple steps, where it talks about the five early literacy skills. And for birth through kindergarten, they put together a prize pack where it was a Duplo set and two board books for the kids. Um, and I don't know, and I have to remember if they did this or not, but I think they added a sheet that explained how the prize can build early literacy skills or build the child's development. So that's another tip for you as well. If you're giving something that is a toy that's a manipulative, add a sheet with the prize that explains how that prize can build the child's early literacy skills or build that development. So maybe you have a prize pack of books and you have maybe it's all the pigeon books, for example, and you put a little note saying, "Wow, did you know that reading and reading with your child develops a shared love of reading?" So offer those tips on that sheet so that way caregivers know how to build their child's early literacy skills or child development skills. CLEL.org, which is Colorado Libraries for Early Literacy, they are a great source for early literacy tips and early literacy practices. I left a link right there so you guys can take a peek as well. Um, so definitely use that in developing and putting together a cool prize for birth through kindergarten. And babies, toddlers, and preschoolers and kindergartners, they don't care about themes. I'm sorry. A baby doesn't care about a theme. Neither does a toddler or a preschooler or a caregiver. Or, I'm sorry, or a kindergartner, excuse me. They don't care about themes. They just care about what that prize is that you're offering or that cool thing. Also, avoid prizes that carry hidden costs. Think again, will this prize be a cost burden for families? So when we offer something, we don't want them to have when we offer something to a parent or a caregiver for a prize, we don't want them to have something that has a hidden additional cost. Some best practices for selecting elementary prizes, whether it be grand prize or small initiatives. Ask your kids what prizes they'd like to get. They know best. They know because they know what's hot. They know what's popular. So what's popular with your kids now? You know that, oh man, they love this show. They love Bluey. They love this. Ask them what they would like to get. Look at your return bin. Look at what's being returned. What popular items are going out, whether it's your books or your library of things for kids. Look and see what is moving. Ask their caregivers. What do they like that's super popular with their kiddo? And focus on rewards that are tied to reading and literacy. So think about your STEAM kits, your STEM kits, uh, art kits, new books, drawing books. Think about things that are tied to reading and literacy that are going to build those skills to keep them ready for school. And Victoria says parents do the bulk of the work for the babies. Absolutely. For your teens, for best practices for selecting teen prizes, ask your teens, ask your tweens, and involve them in the selection process. If you are a library that has a teen library board, ask them what they would consider for prizes, and maybe they can help select them. Ask your teens or tweens that come to your programs their thoughts. If you have teen volunteers, if you're lucky enough to have teen volunteers, ask them. Get as much input from those teens as possible. We want to offer voice and choice to them. This is a chance for them to help the library, and we want to be respectful of that. Definitely offer choices and autonomy. So let teens choose from a variety of prize options for them. And again, don't pick a theme-based prize. Teens don't care. They don't care about theme. And give prizes that teens actually want, not just what you think they want. So let's go with some budget-friendly prize ideas. And this is from Franklin Avenue Library, by the way, this picture. That is adorable of the little one holding the Duplo and the two with the two board books. I think that's super cute. I'm just looking at these comments here. Sarah says our teens highly suggested an Amazon gift card. Yes, so they can choose something specific to them. Absolutely. That's a great idea, Sarah. So some budget-friendly ideas. Some of you might have a spin the wheel for prizes. A lot of you talked about this during the summer reading summits last year. But if you have not seen those, this is what they look like. You could use this for your summer library program where if they have their reading log done, maybe they come to your library and they turn in their sheet and they spin the wheel for prizes. This is a 12-inch tabletop one. The link to Amazon is there. So if you are interested, you can look at that. I think this one was about what? It was $21 for the spinning wheel. Um, I had mentioned earlier scratch offs, and Amazon has a My Scratch Offs 50 pack where you can write or print out what the prize is. So this kit, it's $12.99 for the scratch offs. But I think that's a really cool idea for teens. I think that's so fun and so cool. If you're wondering how to use scratch offs for your library, scratch off tickets, this idea comes from the 5 Minute Librarian. I put the link right there. So that way you can see for yourself how this librarian used the scratch offs for her summer reading program. She went from having only, I think she said in the article, I think only five teens completing the summer program to 84. Um, so it could make a big difference for your library. But again, this is just an array of ideas for you to think about. Jordan says last year we had a end of summer party where there were little glass figures that were in mystery bags. Yes, the teens went nuts to see who could collect them most. Yes. Bloomfield Public Library, what was it? Not last year, but the year before, I got to go to their teen party. And the librarian at the time, she had me hide 200 little tiny, uh, I think they were like little glass ducks. We had to hide them all throughout the library. And it was an overnight party for teens, and that was a lot of fun to do. So those little tiny figurines are so much fun. Oh, they were a Plinko prize. All right. Thank you, Jordan. Some other budget-friendly prize ideas for your birth through toddlers. Maybe you just have a stuffed animal basket with board books. You have some cuddly, soft animals. Grab a basket that would just has with a handheld handle that they can hold, and you have some fun, colorful board books. These Indestructibles, I love indestructible books. This would be a great gift for a parent or a caregiver with a baby or a toddler because those books are so durable. They're chew proof, rip proof, tear proof, and you can wash them. They're machine washable. And those Indestructibles, they run about $3.64 to $4 a book. So you could put that in a basket with some soft cuddly toys, some soft cuddly plushies, and have those books in there. That would be a perfect birth through toddler gift. If you have toddlers and preschoolers, for a preschool and toddler group, you could do a couple of different things. You could do a Duplo set with board books. You could have blocks with picture books. You could do a water and sand play set. I've seen that done. You could do a Play-Doh set where they play with Play-Doh. I love Melissa and Doug toys. The Melissa and Doug, they have this wooden building block set, 100 pieces. It's only $15 on Amazon. The link's right there. That would be a fun grand prize for a toddler or a preschool, and put some board books or picture books with it. That would be great, and some tips on how to keep that engagement going at home. Alex says, when my storytime reading buddies are ready to retire, we have an Adopt a Library Friend prize where kids can take their favorite storytime stuffed animals home while I get replacements. That is cute. I love it. And Taylor says, uh, for their spin the wheel prizes, they use jelly bracelets from the 90s. Yes. Fruities, slap bracelets. Yes. And stickers. Absolutely. And especially with the slap bracelets, you can get the slap bracelets that are color that the kids can color and then decorate it however they want with stickers or decorative markers. And then they can go to town and wear those. Elementary grades 1 through 5, you could do a Lego set. This classic Lego set was, oh, if I remember right, I think it was like $30 if memory serves me right. But the Amazon link is right there. The other thing I've been seeing a lot, and I heard this a lot at the summer reading summits last year, are mystery bags. What is a mystery bag? Mystery bags where you just put whatever you want into the bag and give it away as a prize. It could be a book. It could be a mini notebook. It could be pens, stickers, scratch and sniff stickers, whatever you want. Um, and plus, it's a mystery. You don't know what you're getting until you get it. So I love the idea of a mystery bag. I think that's very, very cool. Another example, this is Jordan from Cresco Public Library. I loved what they offered for summer library prizes for kids. Um, they had all different kinds of kits. This was on their website for different age levels. So they have an art kit, STEM kit, a baby doll kit for 0 to 5. Um, for 6 through 11-year-olds, they have a Lego animal set, a crochet and knit set if you've got kids that love to crochet, a jewelry making kit for their 12 through 18-year-olds. They have a coloring kit, a gift card, looks like a Visa gift card, a Lego Millennium Falcon, which I think that is super cool, and a hiking kit. And it looks like for their adults 18 and up, they had different things like a relaxation kit, a reading kit, and Lego The Great Wave, and gift cards as well. And so this gives you an idea of what you could do with different types of prizes that are budget friendly, especially Squishmallows. Squishmallows are huge right now. I'm seeing a lot of them sold at Aldi's too. If you are fortunate enough to live near an Aldi's, I would stop at an Aldi's because they also have Squishmallows for sale. I got a couple during Halloween, which I couldn't believe that they had them. But yeah, Squishmallows are great gifts as well too that don't break the bank. Another item that I saw during my travels, this was in 2024. I went to Van Meter Public Library and they were offering summer reading prize packs. So they offered for kids to complete the challenge. And once they did, they received these prize packs. So as you can see, they had these it was a 40 pack of 10 colors, zipper mesh pouch, pencil pouch, pen bags. They were super cool to look at. But the packs came with food coupons, bowling game pass, scratch and sniff mini bookmark, which I thought was super cute, a little tiny fidget popper, and the pouch. But that is a cool way to have some different types of prizes in a bag. I put the links to both the scratch and sniff bookmarks and the pouches here, but that's very, very cool. And Ash, yes, there's lots of cheap squishmallows at Five Below. Yes, if you are fortunate to live near Five Below, definitely hit them up. They have awesome squishmallows there too. Also, we're going to move to creative prize ideas. So with this section, this is going to be a mix of grand prize ideas and small prize incentives that are just out of the box, creative, and just different from the norm. The first library I would like to highlight is Tama. Tama Public Library came up with a very cool idea. Um, instead of having just regular prizes, they were giving away items, school, they were giving away school supply items, which I thought was amazing. And I reached out to the library director, and she said that, and this is Chris, um, she knew about the potential need because she recently retired from school administration work in her town, and she was aware that students often have the need of back of back to school supplies. She solicited local businesses in early February for donations to their summer reading program, and the community there was generous, she says, all of their donations allowed her to purchase the supplies. They created a level up system because last year's theme was level up at your library that would create a menu of supplies and other items for kids to earn, um, as they participated in different parts of summer reading program activities. She said, looking back, next year she would set this up differently because they mostly got the toys and the fidgets versus the books or school supplies that we had available. But on that left side, you can see the category of different things that kids could do, and then they would earn stickers for. So if they attended a program, they got two stickers for each day. If they turned in a reading log, four stickers for each log. Crafts, book club, etc. I will put this sheet in the slide deck so that way you guys can see this and have a copy. Um, and also, this to the right is their level up reading challenge. So they had different tiers for what kids and teens could earn. So, some other creative ideas, if you are looking for creative grand prize ideas for elementary kids, how about hosting the kid to be a librarian for a day? I know, a whole day. I thought this was a really cool idea. For this activity, the child could help check out books, they could stamp due dates, they could recommend or put together a book display of books of their choice. Um, Having them be a librarian for a day, I think this is a cool idea because it's an opportunity for us to showcase what we do, what our job is like, to a young child who's curious. So consider maybe having a kid win to be a librarian for the whole day at the library. Maybe you have a special lunch. Maybe you have pizza for the kids, for the staff and the kids. Um, so consider maybe having a librarian for a day as a grand prize for a kid. Or you could have one grand prize winner select books for the library. Maybe you have that child select a couple of books for the kids librarian to order, and that librarian can order and add them to the collection. And you could put a book plate inside each book that was selected. And that maybe it says this book was selected by um, Joni James as the 2026 Summer Reading Prize winner. This would give kids a sense of ownership, a sense of pride, and it gives them a chance to contribute to the library. Some other elementary creative grand prize ideas. Think if you're able to get donations or whatnot, think about maybe having an annual family membership to a museum or his local zoo. If you live near a botanical garden, maybe that child wins a botanical garden membership for their family. State park passes if they live near a state park. Maybe they win a 4-pack to a state park. Or a trampoline park. Trampoline parks are big around here in the Des Moines Metro. Maybe that child wins a pack for a pack of 5 to go to a trampoline park. And of course, prize baskets. We can't go wrong with those prize baskets, whether they're themed or not. Putting together some fun prizes in the prize basket is great for elementary kids. So you could have a game basket. I know those game baskets were popular last year. You could have a movie themed basket for kids or an art themed basket for kids as well. Emery says she does Kid Librarian of the Month through the year. They get to add a book to the library. Yes, build a book display and work behind the desk for an hour. That is cool. I love it. And Shannon says our grand prize for the last few years has been to let everyone who meets their summer reading goal pick one book that the library will purchase and add to the collection. That is amazing. And we're going to talk a little bit more about that too. Another thing to consider is experience prizes, giving them an experience that kids and teens will remember. Um, this is from Davenport Public Library. Each year, they have what's called a personal owl visit with their outreach team. And I talked to the youth director there. Um, this was created by their staff. So a kid So if you have babies, toddlers, and then they had elementary and then teen. So this was more for, their uh, elementary kids. So this idea was created by their staff where a librarian comes and visits where they're at. So it's a personal owl visit that is tailored to the child who won and their interests. And once the winner's name has been chosen, their team contacts the grown-ups, the caregivers, and they formulate a plan. In 2024, the library visited the winner. That's the picture to your right. They visited the winner in the winner's driveway. They conducted a story time. They had crafts. They gave away books. It was a lot of fun. And she said during these visits, we read stories. We let all attendees check out books, excuse me. They check out books that we curate based on the attendees' interest. They provide a craft and they give a tour of their van, of their outreach van. And they also had snacks and bubbles, and it was an absolute blast. This was this year's personal owl visit. They had a winner, and the winner this year wanted the Davenport Public Library owl team to come to their school. So this year they got to go to St. Paul the Apostle School, where the kids got to check out books, bubbles, snacks, and they had story time with Parachute. She said this was their favorite. The kiddos' friends came out chanting his name, and she said it was so many feels. So this is something you could do if you're able to do it. This would be something that you could also do as well. Or maybe having, if you have a child that's a winner, maybe you have the visit at a park and with the child and their friends, and you have a story time just for that child and activities for them as well. The other cool thing I liked with Davenport Public Library, um, they have a teen advisory board, and their teen advisory board runs for ages 11 to 19. And so their teen prizes are chosen specifically by the teen advisory board. And these teens volunteer their time to the library. And they came up with this really cool idea. So when the teen completed their summer reading log, they had a choice between a prize or picking out books for the library. And so this young man named Eli got to spend the evening choosing books from Barnes and Noble that were added to the library's collection. So he got to choose $500 worth of books. So he got to pick $50 worth of books out for himself as well. It says Eli chose some new YA thrillers, some new dystopias, and lots of manga that will be added to our shelves for checkout soon. I think that's a great way of giving those teens voice and choice of being able to pick out books with the librarian, um, and having those books added into the collection, giving that voice and choice where they're helping the library. And he got to walk away with some really cool books as well. Central Library, I know they had an escape room. What was it? This was September of 2023. Um, they had it, if memory serves me right, they had it where one prize winner, and I think it was a teen winner, they got to pick um, they got to pick a prize of their choice, and they wanted to do an escape room. And so they put together a Harry Potter themed escape room. Um, so they got together all the different elements. They put together the escape room for the teen and their friends. I thought this was a really cool idea, very fun idea. If you love escape rooms, maybe you consider as a grand prize for teens having an escape room night at the library. And speaking of teens, maybe you have a teen after hours event at the library as a grand prize for teens. You set the limit of the number of friends the teen can invite, and you can have an after hours event with them. Maybe you have laser tag at the library for the teen and their friends, or maybe you have a game night just for them. Or maybe you consider hosting having a local gaming group, having host a gaming night just for the teen and their friends. So maybe you contact Brook Room or Delt Hand or a comic book shop or whatnot, and having them create like a gaming night just for that teen prize winner. Other prizes for teens, we all know gift cards. Think your Amazon, Starbucks, Target, Barnes and Noble, or your local coffee shop, or a local bookstore, or a local comic book store that they're interested in. Think about maybe offering passes to a mini golf place, or a local arcade if there's one nearby. Of course, your activity baskets. Maybe you have a big, huge art basket or a board and card game basket, or you give a gift card to a movie theater because teens love movies. Maybe you have new books where they're personalized book recommendations just for them, or you create a themed book box where it's just for them, where you get that winner, that team winner, you figure out what they like, they tell you what they like, and you create a themed book box just for them. Or you give them a huge mystery bag prize where it's filled with nothing but cool prizes just for teens. Now, for your small prizes, for kids or teens that finish the summer reading program and they're turning in their slips, these are just some different small prizes you could do. You could do large, and I'm talking large scratch and sniff stickers for kids instead of those uh, plastic items. You could get color changing pencils. These pencils have different colors in the lead. So you could do color changing pencils or mood changing color pencils where the pencils change color when the kids write them, when they're holding them, excuse me. Croc charms. I know kids love Crocs. You could use Croc charms, giving those as prizes. I really like these mini pens for teens and tweens, just something fun, different, out of the ordinary. So offering those things, maybe mini notebooks. Think about small things that they could use instead of just one and done toys. Think about small things that they could use, especially for young kids. Those large scratch and sniff stickers would be super duper fun. And Michelle says those mini pens, yes, she bought on Amazon. Do I have a link for those pens? Yes, I will get those links in the slides when I load them up into Workday Learning. Thank you, Jonathan. Really quickly, I wanted to share some adult prize ideas as well, because I know a lot of you are librarians that wear many hats and you're doing everything at your library. Some adult prize ideas, again, those baskets. Those baskets are awesome. To your left is Warren Public Library's adult crafting basket. It was just put together of different craft supplies. They have a Michael's gift card in there. Um, Super cool if you have people that love crafting. You could do all different kinds of baskets. I thought this item was cool to your right. Bethlehem Public Library in Delmar, New York, they had a Jolly Green basket. For those of you that are working with the Plant a Seed Read theme, um, they had this basket and it came with a Stanley cup, some beakers, a bag, a mini mushroom mini grow kit, vegetable gardener's handbook, and other items. I thought that was super cool and pertinent to our theme. Also, I just wanted to point out some other adult summer reading prize ideas. Erickson Public Library, they were giving away Fairway gift cards, Hy-Vee gift cards, Walmart, Amazon. Also, the other thing I like, they were also giving away chamber gift certificates. If you have not partnered or talked with your local chamber of commerce, that would be a wonderful relationship to start. So these are some other prize ideas. Waukee Public Library, they gave away different types of adult grand prizes. They had, looks like a mushroom planter. Yes, a mushroom planter. They had an air fryer cookbook and a $50 craft meat gift card. They had a CPRE 3.0 Lego set, which I like. That's super cute. And this idea, I love this. They had a subscription to a puzzle of the month where you get a puzzle every month. We know we've got some fans of puzzle who love to play with puzzles. That'd be a great prize idea for an adult. Some other prize ideas, adults can draw for gift cards where the patron chooses which business they want to win from. Water bottles are also great too. And gas gift cards too, or sorry, gas cards too. Gas cards would be a wonderful prize as well. Taylor says our most popular adult prize are the free oil changes. Yes, to our two local mechanic shops. I love that idea. Practical idea. Scott County Library System for 2022, this was their adult summer reading bookmark where all the adult had to do was write their name, phone or email, what book they read, and then they chose one raffle prize that they wanted to try to win. I love the answer at the bottom. It says random surprise. I don't care. I just want to win. So they could choose between either a gift card, a coffee lover's basket, or hey, just surprise me. I love that idea. I think it's really, really cool. And they have their sponsors on there as well. Really quickly, best practices for soliciting donations. Identify the businesses in your town. Who's in your community? Who is in your community that you can contact? Make a list of all those businesses and organizations, whether it's your Chamber of Commerce or the subway on the square in your town, or that cool coffee shop that you love going to every morning, or that movie theater. Make a list of all the businesses in your town. Contact your local banks and your credit unions, your savings and loans, and your investment brokers. These financial institutions, sometimes they have to complete some type of community service as part of their organization. And get in touch with your local clubs. Think about your Kiwanis, your Rotaries, your JCs, women's clubs. The resource guide for this year on pages 7 to 10 highlights all the different things you can do for soliciting donations. They also have a sample letter of what to write to potential donors and businesses as well. When you are reaching out to these organizations, be specific about what you're asking for. Be specific. You think I'd be able to speak today? Be specific about what donations would be appropriate for your library. Have those numbers ready for donors. If you know you need 250 t-shirts for your program, Have those numbers ready so that way that donor isn't guessing how many or how much of an item you need. And give them a deadline for when you need the donations. Research the best way to make your request. Do you have to send a letter? Do you have to go in person? Does the business require you to fill out an online form and find out when it's due? Send those requests in a timely fashion. Never send them in late because you might miss that opportunity. Oh, Ash says the dental offices are where it's at for monetary donations. Oh, okay. I just learned something new today. Thanks, Ash. Keep a spreadsheet of who you contact and who you receive donations from. This is important, especially when you're sending out those thank yous. Offer the sponsor something in return. If you are reaching out to that sponsor and you're saying, hey, we have this program, we would love it if you donated X amount A, B, C, D, E, F, G. In return, we can put your name on a sign during a program. What is something you could offer that sponsor in return to say thank you and to say, hey, this organization supported us? And make sure you thank your donors, your sponsors, your contributors, your library foundation, your library board, your friends group. Make sure you are thanking them because they remember if you thank them or if you didn't. So make sure you are thanking them, whether it's writing a note yourself or making a card and the kids sign their name and you put some cool pictures in there and you send it to them. Make sure you thank them. And that's an example of Slater Public Library. They put a thank you to all their reading contributors on their website. Michelle says, my recommendation is to send those donation letters out in January. Yes, the earlier the better. That way businesses can budget. Absolutely. And yes, handwritten thank yous after donations build so much rapport. You are right, Victoria. Absolutely. Um, Parting thoughts for you guys. Summer reading should not be trying to one up the library in the next town. It shouldn't. And nor should it come at the expense of other programming or budget items the rest of the year. So don't try to think you're going to do better than the Joneses or whatever. You don't have time for that. It's about what the learning and the engagement you bring to those kids and teens. So think about how you'll design your summer library program. What is that going to look like? And freshen up your prize offerings. It's okay to change it. It's okay to make it different. Get that input from your kids, your teens, your adults, your patrons. Um, have rewards that are relevant and interesting to your kids, teens, and adults. And do your research. Ask for donations early. Make sure you keep that spreadsheet and thank your sponsors and donors. Do not forget, make sure you put your first and last name in the chat because after today, 2 participants from today's webinar will receive a mystery prize bag from yours truly. All prize bags will be delivered via the AEA delivery service. And oh my gosh, let's see. Someone said when I send a thank you letter to a business, they send me more tickets. Oh my gosh, my goodness. Um, some upcoming events that are coming up. December 16th, next Tuesday, is December's Check It Out. We moved it up because of Christmas. So again, Check It Out for December is next Tuesday. Next Tuesday, December 16th from 11 to noon. Um, Tuesday, January 6th, save that on your radar because we are having the All I Reads author webinar presentation. That is January 6th from 10 a.m. to noon. The teen author is T.L. Simpson for Strong Like You. And the kids author is Kate Messner. This woman is amazing. She wrote The Trouble with Heroes, and she also writes the History Smasher series. They are all dynamite. So make sure you save time to attend that webinar. January's Pop YS Live will be from 1 to 2 p.m. on January 21st. And this is going to focus on summer in the small library and what will that look like. And make sure you save the date because January 29th, we're having the iLock online conference. That's going to be an all-day event. We'll have more information next month, so save the date for that. And Con is coming back on April 16th and 17th. It's going to be in a virtual format and free for all attendees. We are going to be opening up the call for proposals on January 20th. So if you have a cool youth related program, service, or concept that you're interested in talking about, I would love it if you submitted that proposal to us. We'll have a newsletter blast that's going to be sent out January 20th. So stay tuned for all of that information. And oh my gosh, I made it. I made it by 1 minute. So thank you guys. I hope you have the happiest of holidays. Enjoy. Have a wonderful holiday season. Please reach out to me if you have any questions or, hey, I'm stuck. So thanks, guys.
Yes, thanks for coming, everybody. And we will be checking your names off on Workday, and you will receive an alert when the evaluation is open.
Thanks, everybody.